All right, 13.8 is interpreting box and whisker plots, and this is something you have done a little bit of before. You want to go ahead and pause and write down that vocab word, and that is a box and whisker plot. So the steps for creating a box and whisker plot are to first order the data from least to greatest. So go ahead and pause your video and order your data from least to greatest. Okay, so I went ahead and ordered them from least to greatest. Second is for you to find and label the median of the data set. Remember, if there's an even number, then you have to average the middle two. So this is actually the median right here. And what this does is it splits your data set. So number 3, find and label the median of the lower half of the data set. So we're looking from 38 all the way to the left would be the lower data. So we're going from 6 to 24. So the median of that is actually called the lower quartile. So I'm going to label it LQ. And then the next part, number 4, find and label the median of the upper data. So this is called the upper quartile, and the median of that would be right here at 56. So I'm going to label that UQ for upper quartile. And then the minimum and the maximum. So this is showing the minimum of 6, and our maximum is 78. So now we're actually going to construct our box and whisker plot. That median is actually in the middle. So we're going to write these above the number line. So we're going to put dots at each one of these values. So our median was 38. So I'm going to put a point, I'm going to estimate 38, and I'm just going to draw a line. And then I need to do my lower quartile, which was 19. So I'm going to put a dot at my lower quartile and draw a line, the same length as the last line. And then upper quartile is 56. So I'm going to estimate that, draw a line. So now I'm going to connect these 3 lines with a big rectangle. And that is our box. And then next we have to draw the whiskers. So the whiskers are your min and max. So my minimum was 6. So I'm not going to draw a vertical line. I'm going to draw a horizontal line connecting these because that shows our range and where our data is. And then my maximum was 78. So I'm going to draw a dot and connect these with a whisker. So that's why you would call that a box and whisker plot. So I'm going to put my lines here again. I have a dot at 78. And that is an example of my box and whisker plot. Okay, so here is one that has been done on the computer. The interquartile range is the difference between the upper and lower quartiles. So you're basically taking the 2 numbers and subtracting them. So an outlier is when you're going to have something widely spread out from the data. So we're going to look at this example over to the right, and we are going to list out what each of these are. So A represents our minimum. B represents that lower quartile number. C is representing our median. D is our upper quartile, and E is our maximum. Okay, so now we're going to compare the annual snowfall for the 2 ski resorts listed below. So if you look, you have Powder Valley and Mad Mountain. So if you look at it, some comparison statements you could make would be something like Mad Mountain definitely has a larger interquartile range, which means it has a more variety of snowfall. Mad Mountain has a larger interquartile range. Okay, the next statement you could make would be that it looks like Powder Valley has a lower average of snowfall. Those are 2 statements. There are many others that you could make, but those are 2 examples of statements you could make from that box and whisker plot. Okay, so again, we're going to use this box and whisker plot to identify the numbers